This is my Fender Rhodes Mark 1 from 1973, and in today's video I will be putting on new decals and tuning the piano. Because, yeah, it definitely needed it. First step is taking the lid off the Rhodes. Pretty simple, just lift the lid up and put it somewhere it won't fall. Then I flip up the harp to get access to the tines inside. And now that the harp is lifted up, the tines are very easy to reach, so I can start tuning the piano. And tuning a Rhodes is a very different process from tuning a normal acoustic piano. On the Rhodes you actually plug the tine with your fingers to hear the pitch, and each tine has a little spring on it, and that spring is how you fine-tune the tine. If you move the spring up the tine, the note goes higher. The spring is very sensitive, so even tiny adjustments makes a notable change. It's basically a game of move it a millimeter and hope it's in tune. And on the time lapse here you can see me start on middle C and moving down on the tines until we reach the low end. And as you go further down in the low end, the string actually needs to be moved more and more since the tine is getting bigger and bigger. And the opposite goes for the tines in the high register. So even a very small adjustment on the spring can make a huge difference, actually up to about 20 cents, either sharp or flat. For tuning, I'm using my laptop with a tuner on it. I've got the Rhodes plugged into an audio interface, which gives me a more accurate reading than using my phone mic. It makes the whole tuning process, which is already very tedious, a lot easier and a lot less guessy. I already tried tuning the Rhodes once with my phone, but the microphone doesn't always love the Rhodes harmonics. Sometimes it grabs the wrong overtone and suddenly the tuner thinks I'm playing a completely different note. It's just a lot more reliable, and when you're tuning 73 tines, the reliability is pretty nice to have. Here you can see me lifting up the harp because when I got to the highest register of the high register, plugging the tine just didn't give enough output for the tuner to read, even while gaining it a bunch. So I had to put the harp down and use the hammer to actually hit the note. Now it's time to add the decals all over the Rhodes. I'm starting with the logo on the front panel. Firstly, I'm removing the 8 screws that hold the front panel in place, just to make it easier to get access to the back side of the front panel. Once the panel is off, I line up the logo and push the post through the holes. Then I secure it from the inside using these little black clips. They're called push nuts, and they hold the logo in place with friction. It's pretty simple, and once they're on, the logo isn't going anywhere. Up next, I'm putting on the rear decal. This one doesn't use push nuts, it's held in place with screws, and luckily the piano already had holes from the previous decal. This was a pretty easy step, but it really helps the Rhodes actually look complete. Next up is the decal on the front of the lid. It reads 73 because my Rhodes has 73 keys. Funny coincidence is also that the piano is from 1973. The process is almost the same as putting on the front panel logo. The decal uses push nuts as well, but there are 3 of them this time instead of 2. Next up, I'm putting on the side handles for lifting the piano. I was careful enough when ordering the parts, but apparently only careful enough to get 1 handle instead of 2, so I'll have to order another one. And of course, in classic me fashion, I managed to screw the handle on the wrong way the first time. Here's a quick clip of me realizing it. It's pretty funny. It's the wrong way around. But no worries, I just flipped it around and screwed it back the right way this time. 1 handle done and 1 more to go when the replacement arrives. So I bought this front panel sign with the input bass boost and volume text, thinking it would fit my Rhodes. Turns out it's too big for the holes on my front panel. I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe I ordered the wrong panel, so that sign actually sticks out from the edge. Or maybe this Rhodes was never meant to have a sign in the first place. Anyway, this might be controversial, but in a future video I'm going to bore a new hole in the panel, so the sign will line up with the existing holes. The sign should cover the other hole that isn't going to be used. For now it's just sitting here looking pretty, and even if it doesn't quite fit yet. This is what happens when your sustain pedal bushing is old and worn out. The sustain rod keeps falling out and the bushing can get jammed sideways in the hole. Luckily, this is a super easy and cheap fix. I just bought a new bushing and all I have to do is put it in. Once it's replaced, the sustain rod slides smoothly again and the pedal actually feels way better under your foot. Now here I'm also showing a comparison between the old bushing and the new one, so you actually can see the difference in how worn it got. That's it for what I've done so far. The Rhodes sure looks and feels a lot better to sit down and play. And for the next video, in part 3, I'm going to be replacing the damper fills. Here's why. Sometimes the notes ring out longer than they should, and in my case it's because the damper fills get stuck under the pickups, so they can't lift properly and stop the note after it's been hit. I've ordered a damper fill kit from Vintage Vibe, and by the looks of it, this is going to be one of the hardest fixes I've done so far. A lot of things could go wrong, and I might even break a damper fill spring. But that's a problem for the next video. Thanks for watching and I hope you enjoyed. See you next time.